It's tempting to keep calling, texting, explaining. But chasing rarely works. In fact, it often pushes them further away. When your child cuts contact, the instinct to chase them can feel overwhelming. The silence is unbearable. You send another message. You call again. You ask relatives if they've heard anything. But this chasing, however loving, however well-intentioned, rarely brings the connection you hope for. In fact, it often does the opposite. It pushes them further away. When someone sets a boundary or chooses distance, repeated attempts to restore closeness can feel invasive, even manipulative to them, even when that's not your intention. They don't feel seen or heard. They feel overwhelmed. And when someone feels overwhelmed, their default reaction is usually to retreat even further. Estrangement is often driven by a need for autonomy, to define their identity outside the family narrative. When parents chase, they may unintentionally affirm the very reasons their child left. Emotional pressure, boundary crossing, feeling unheard. This doesn't mean you did something wrong by reaching out once or twice. But it's the pattern of pursuit that can be harmful. And it can be emotionally destructive to you. Because chasing doesn't just hurt your chances of reconciliation. It pulls you out of yourself. You lose your center. You become trapped in their silence. Chasing often comes from fear, not love. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of being blamed. Fear of being seen as unloving or cold. But healing begins when you stop reaching outward for validation, and start reaching inward for stability and peace. Chasing feeds panic. Centering feeds peace. Centering yourself doesn't mean you stop loving your child. It doesn't mean you've given up. It means you're shifting from a reactive state to a grounded one. A reactive state says, they haven't replied, let me send another message. A centered response says, I've expressed my love. Now I focus on healing. Letting go of chasing isn't passive. It requires strength, intention, and emotional maturity. Journaling, therapy or coaching, meditation or prayer, creative expression, daily affirmations. Each of these is a step back into your own emotional territory. Back to your peace. Dr. Joshua Coleman, a leading expert on estrangement, found that reconciliations rarely begin with pressure. They begin with quiet patience, emotional self-regulation, and a willingness to listen without defense. Statistically, adult children who return often say they needed space, not pursuit. You don't need to run after someone who isn't ready. You need to return to yourself and stand tall again. Because peace lives in your center, not in their reply. I choose peace over panic. I choose stability over chasing. If this message resonates with you, my book, 10 Things Every Parent Should Know About Estrangement, will guide you further. The link is in the description. Like, subscribe, and share your story, because your peace matters.